Many big-name celebs got their start as child stars.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's how we roll.
But what's it like breaking into the industry as a little kid or even a baby?
It was really great fun.
There are rules for casting kids concerning everything from how long they can work to what kind of condiments you can use on them. We all know the cast of Stranger Things has faced some serious world-threatening dangers on the show.
You can't get out, can you?
No way.
While casting a group of kids for a Netflix show might not be quite as hazardous, it does present its own unique set of challenges compared to casting adults. Hey, hiring kids is difficult, but so is being a kid trying to audition for a show.
It's a big statement, and I was only 11 years old at the time.
Poor Finn Wolfhard was so sick that he had to record his entire audition tape from his bedroom. Now that's dedication, and he was only 11 years old at the time. Carmen Cuba was the casting director for Stranger Things, and picking the right child stars is one of her many talents. According to Carmen, adult actors are better at presenting themselves as a blank slate, ready to take on any role the studio is offering. They hide their quirks and idiosyncrasies in a way that young kids simply don't. She loves watching audition tapes, even ones sent in by sick kids like Finn, because it gives her a chance to see what kids are like without any direction. If she likes what she sees, the next step is for the actor to come into the studio, or if they're too far away, she'll set up a Skype session to suss out their talent. Getting to know the kids during the audition process is so important it can even impact the final product. On Stranger Things, Dustin Henderson has a condition called cleidocranial dysplasia, which real-life actor Gaten Matarazzo also has. This was written into the script when the Duffer brothers met Gaten and realized this was something interesting about him, a quirk which they could hide but chose not to.
I told you a million times, my teeth are coming in.
Of course, being able to memorize lines and take direction are important, but in general, kids enjoy a much more free-form audition process than adults. Gabriel Bateman is a child actor who's been in movies like Lights Out and Child Play and says improv is a common part of his auditions. Sean Levy is the executive producer of Stranger Things, and he's always on the lookout for new talent, and hiring kids involves a lot of discussion. No, not with the parents, but with the kids themselves. He claims adult actors are hired based on their ability to read the script, but child stars need to embody the character's qualities even when they're not acting. Sean auditioned over 1,000 kids for the show, and although many of them were talented, only a select few were, well, strange enough to fit the show.
Another invention of mine.
So what's a prerequisite to get terrified in front of tons of cameras? Interestingly enough, the ability to cut loose and get a little bit silly. In the first season, the Demogorgon was actor Mark Steger in a suit, and sometimes the use of special effects means the kids have to react to things that aren't really there. Sean even plays spooky music on the set just to make sure the kids stay in character. You know, in case they were thinking about not living in terror for a few minutes. But while casting kids has its own set of challenges, what about casting even younger talent? That's right, we're talking about babies, who are kind of the worst coworkers ever.
The baby woke up! The baby woke up!
They scream, they cry, and we won't even get started on their bathroom habits. Evan Goldberg, producer of the movie Knocked Up, wanted to include an actual birth in the movie. The problem, surprisingly, wasn't finding a woman willing to let a film crew into the delivery room. Hey, Kourtney Kardashian did it twice. But it was the fact that they're not allowed to hire newborns in California. In order to be in a movie, a baby has to be at least 15 days old and have the all clear from their doctor. A physician's note is required to ensure the baby wasn't born prematurely and is healthy enough to take part in filming. However, in some states such as New Mexico, West Virginia, and Wyoming, there are 0 age restrictions, which means even brand new babies can make their big screen debut. The rules in California are stricter and even cover what substances can be applied to babies to give them that fresh out of the womb look. It might not be the same as getting red carpet ready, but it's an important part of the process. Grape or cherry jelly is fine, but strawberry and raspberry are forbidden because of potential allergic reactions. Yikes, they really did think of everything. Of course, there are less sticky rules babies have to follow on set as well. Children under 6 months can only be on set for 2 hours a day, and only 20 minutes of that time can be spent working. For this reason, it's not uncommon for studios to hire many babies to fill a single role so they can film 20 minutes per child. Of course, for this reason, twins have a huge advantage, like actors Callie and Noelle Sheldon, who played Emma on Friends when they were little. You might have seen them even more recently in Jordan Peele's Us. Even though they've been in a majorly scary movie now, their parents wouldn't let them watch Friends until they were 13 years old. If you're thinking that hiring an army of babies might hurt the bottom line of a movie, you might be surprised to know how little they make. Technically, they're just background actors and take home about $126 per day. But if they manage to get billing as a principal performer, they can earn up to $727 a day. That's a big raise for such tiny talent. And getting your foot in the door as a baby doesn't guarantee you'll grow with the role. Just ask Kaylee Fleming, who was the 18th actress to play Judith Grimes on The Walking Dead. Although we met Judith as a baby, Kaylee joined the cast at age 11 and made $250,000 for the 10th season of the show.
Well, obviously.
Casting kids and babies for movies is hard, but it's even more complicated to cast one for a TV show. Most movies are self-contained stories, while shows can carry on for years. So not only are you looking to hire the perfect kid for this season, but you have to think about what that kid will be like 5+ years from now. It's such a complicated process that Game of Thrones author George R.R. Martin once despaired that he would never find the perfect person to play Arya Stark. The show covers tons of, well, let's say problematic content, which made casting hard in the first place. And knowing how dark the story of Arya would get made finding the perfect actor nearly impossible. Showrunner David Benioff says they auditioned over 300 girls in England and were beginning to lose hope over finding Arya. But thankfully, the crew ended up with an audition tape from a then 7-year-old Maisie Williams and were blown away by her incredible spirit. She also had an amazing energy on set with another young actress, Sophie Turner.
She's just my best friend. I mean, like, who else gets to go to work with their best friend?
While parents are heavily involved in their children's careers, it turns out they don't have to give their permission for them to audition. Sophie and her friends auditioned as a joke, and she was surprised when she received a callback. It wasn't until she found herself in the final 7 that she decided this might be the time to clue her parents in about what she was doing. Kids today going out and auditioning for major HBO shows without their parents' permission.
And that's the day.
Thankfully, her mom and dad were supportive, and Sophie was cast as Sansa Stark when she was 13 years old. Sophie had been in drama for years leading up to this, but Maisie had a very different motivation. She was on an epic quest to earn enough money for a new laptop. Considering she was making about $175,000 per episode by season 8, we think it's safe to assume she got that laptop. Isaac Hempstead Wright, who plays Bran Stark, was only 10 years old when he landed the role and had gotten involved with drama classes because he decided it was too cold outside to play soccer. Apparently, he didn't take the "winter is coming" Stark motto seriously enough.
Winter is coming.
While he did a lot of sitting and staring in later seasons, the beginning of the show was quite challenging, not just for Isaac, but his parents. They had to decide if signing their son up for Game of Thrones was a good idea and if they wanted him exposed to that kind of content. Let's just say they had to rush the birds and the bees talk in order to get him ready for the first episode to start filming. There's definitely a stereotype out there about pushy stage parents who are desperate for their children to act. But the reality is that many stars express an interest in acting from a young age. Eris Baker plays Tess on This Is Us and said being an actress had been her dream since she was around 3 or 4 years old. Her parents thought she would lose interest as time went on, but by age 7 they realized she was serious. Eris views acting as getting to be her best self with the bonus of getting paid for it. Her co-star Faithe Herman also relates to her character Annie and says they share a love of headbands, bows, and flowers. Although she admits her mom has to cover her eyes during some more scandalous moments, Faithe says she loves watching the show. You might be surprised how particular casting directors are when it comes to hiring the right young talent. When Anna Cathcart auditioned for All the Boys I've Loved Before, she sat cross-legged in her chair, which apparently made all the difference. The casting director thought this subtle way of seating meant Anna would make the perfect kitty. But becoming a child actor isn't all fun and games. Producers need to know these kids can cope with some difficult situations. When they were hiring extras for Stephen King's It, the kids were forced to confront Bill Skarsgård in full Pennywise regalia, an experience which left some of them in uncontrollable tears.
What a nice boat. Do you want it back?
Sophia Lillis says she wasn't too scared the first time she came face to face with Pennywise, but she nearly lost out on the part of Beverly because she didn't look feminine enough. Director Andy Muschietti wanted a more androgynous-looking Beverly, while Warner Brothers wanted a more feminine one. They compromised by having Sophia wear hair extensions to get the okay from the studio, and then having a scene where Beverly cuts her hair short. But Sophia says once filming started, she was treated as just one of the guys. Their acting coach knew it was important for the kids to learn to work together, so prior to filming they got together to do acting challenges and trust exercises designed to help them bond. Even kids who don't work on scary movies still have to deal with frightening moments when they go into acting. Lexi Rabe played the role of Morgan Stark in the hit movie Avengers Endgame, but had to deal with furious fans when she didn't have time to sign autographs. It got so bad, her mother was forced to take to social media to plead with people to stop bullying her daughter. Yikes. Now that's the sort of thing Tony Stark definitely wouldn't tolerate. And sadly, she's far from alone in this experience. Finn Wolfhard works on set of spooky Stranger Things, but says the scariest thing that ever happened to him occurred off-set. Some fans with boundary issues actually followed him home, hoping for an autograph. Becoming a child star definitely has many benefits, but there are some serious drawbacks kids and their parents need to be aware of. While there are laws designed to keep kids safe, it's still a complicated industry to get involved with, and it's not for everyone. Do you think the entertainment industry is doing enough to keep these talented kids safe, or is it still too dangerous?
Oh, who knows?
Let us know what you think in the comment section and then click on the subscribe button for more videos from us here at The Taco. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time.